it's Nikki and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching today's home vlog all about refreshing my flower garden for the season. Really excited to share this with you. I love doing home vlogs. I need to do them more, but I love getting our garden and just like all of my little flower pots ready for the season. I feel like I was a little bit behind this year just because we were traveling and I just didn't want to do it in like late April because we do get a couple of cold days. In the clear now though, so that is really exciting. I am doing my watering and everything. I'm pretty sure I did an intro before. I can't find that video, so it's been a couple of days, but I'm going to show you every step of the way from when I went to Home Depot to pick everything out to the finished product. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I love sharing magical moments here at home and at our favorite theme park. So make sure you are subscribed, give this video a big thumbs up, and let's go to Home Depot. Okay, so I'm at Home Depot. I put like a little blanket in my back seat because that's like where all of the flowers will go. Apologies, I'm like still really stuffy, allergies, and we have like really bad air quality today from like a forest fire somewhere, who knows. But I'm gonna take a couple of videos here. I don't know how much I will vlog. I just like struggle vlogging in public when I'm not at the park, so we'll see. I need to get over it. I need to do it, literally like post it online, so who cares? I'm never gonna see these people again, but let's go into Home Depot. So when I got to Home Depot, I saw these hydrangea bushes and they looked so pretty. I need like 3 bushes or something right in front of like our really big window. So still looking for something there, but overall, like the selection at Home Depot wasn't great at first, but then I did find my like yearly staples. I love these flowers to put right in front of our yard. They do great in full sun. And actually read the label, y'all, because when it says full sun, they actually need full sun, not a little bit of shade, full sun. I had a couple die on me last year because they were in the shade, but this year I really wanted to get some fun like fillers, and these vine things, I don't know the correct term for them, but they're adorable. I loved grabbing these just to add in with our flowers, and make sure you always check them out because they're mostly always the same price. So make sure that you get pretty big ones. And then this weird looking plant, I didn't know what that was, but it looked kind of cool. Here was my cart before I found the extra fillers, and now here is it after. It was a great haul. I feel like they didn't have a great selection, but I'm pretty sure I was able to find everything that I wanted. It took me a while to like find it all, but we're good. Like $140 later, but so let's get planting. Oh yeah. The first thing I had to do was I had to switch my soil over to my new planters. So I got these white ones last year from Target, and I love them because they are self-watering. I used the 2 big white ones last year, but these little ones, and then I will have another one that I do end up using as well. I think I got them at the end of the season or maybe in the middle. So I didn't use them last year, obviously. But self-watering, great, because sometimes this girl forgets to water her plants. I do set like a reminder on my phone to water the plants, but you know what? Life happens and we do travel, and so gosh forbid if I forget to water my plants or I have somebody coming to water my plants, it's gonna be okay and they're gonna survive. This is where I broke my fun little mug. That was sad. I had a flower and garden mug that was like a little bit cracked, and so I put a cute flower in it last year and it just couldn't withstand my strength. It broke. No worries though, I had a couple of other small pots as well. that I needed to get some soil in. I don't know if you're supposed to like use new soil every single year. I don't. I reuse, reduce, recycle your soil. I just mix it around a bit and then add a couple of the newer chunks of soil in there when I plant my fun little flowers. But overall, this was a fairly simple process. I do have those black pots. Those were actually hanging pots. My hanging flowers never do well. If you have like a fun tip on how to get your hanging flowers or hanging pots to be successful actually hanging, let me know in the comments down below, because I have never been successful at that. They always die and they're droopy, and yeah. All right, so here I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. I started following this gal on Instagram and TikTok. I think her name's Nikki, but I think her handle's like Nikki Does Plants or something. And she had a great hack of like sticking your flower or your plant in the plastic within your container and then filling it up with soil. And then when you pop it out, it's kind of like a sand castle, and then you can just stick it right back in there. See how that hole, like, wow, genius. Always make sure to get your roots a little like messed up at the bottom so they have like something to grab onto. Pretty sure that's why. I don't know. I'm not a plant lady yet. I keep my plants alive inside my house. Last year we kept them alive outside, so we're gonna be like 2 for 2 this year. It's gonna be great. But overall, I really liked these little viney things as well. My little spiky things in the middle, way bigger than I actually thought they would look in here, but they do look nice. You'll see what they look like at the end of this video. I do love like lots of pop of color. We have a really large yellow planter that I have my fern in, and I like to stick with like that same color palette. My fern pot was actually brown and I just spray painted it. So fun fact, if you do not like, I don't know where I went. If you do not like your color of your pot, but you just want like a cheap one because they're so ding dang expensive, just spray paint it. I spray painted it probably 3 or 4 years ago now, and 3 years, almost 4 maybe, I don't know, and it is still kicking. So absolutely fun fact of making your budget still be a budget after your planting season, because you know what, this stuff is not cheap. But anyways, I like to have my planters matching, and so I did the same layout as this one as the other one, because they will be right next to each other on our deck outside. The smaller ones will be next to our shed, and I'll get to those in a moment, but those are the, what are they called? Asparagus plants, the ones that kind of look like trees. They are really cute. I kind of wish I got more, but that's right. Next year, we always have next year. Like I said, I do have those 2 other pots, so I might be thinking about doing another one. At this moment, I have not. I also want to get a really cute like butt pan for our table in the backyard. I've never had like flowers on there, but I need to make sure that the hole in the middle of the butt pan is big enough to fit our umbrella. So still have to figure out that. Those pans I thought were going to be super cheap. They're actually not. And so I want to make sure I order the correct one from Amazon. I never measure like anything, but yeah. So I, again, want a little bit of pop of color. So perps, got to have some purple flowers up in here always. I put 4 in there. I think it might have been a little tight, but I do want it to fill up. I don't love when my planters like mid-season are still kind of bare. So if I do put them a little closer together, then they're going to grow together and it's just going to be one beautiful plant. Make sure you're following me over on Instagram, and I will show you how good they're growing later this season. So one thing I do want to add to our garden, not my garden, our garage for my flowers, is I want like an island for all of my gardening tools. I would love to be able to have like a vegetable garden, or even just like a couple of plants, maybe some like cherry tomatoes, or I know strawberries are hard, maybe some lettuce. But I don't have like a station. I'm thinking of kind of like an island, but for all of my gardening stuff. And then I can always have like some soil in there. Maybe get some other cute gardening tools. I am always losing my gloves. So just having like one spot to put in my garage for all of like my gardening stuff. Do you have that? Is that like a thing? I'll probably just need to like Google it. I'm sure I can find something on Amazon. Realistically, I probably wouldn't get it this year because I'm past the point of like having to do all of my gardening stuff, and we can't garden besides spring and summer because our weather here is terrible. But let me know, do you have like a little gardening section for yourself? I love doing this. It's fun. Is it like hard on my back? Was I kind of sore the next day? Yeah, I was. That's why I need some like knee pads or like a fun stool. Anyways, I would love to have like a little gardening section so I can make my garden bigger, not just do flowers and peonies. So let me know if you have something like that in the comments down below. But like we're watching me plant, I really wanted to put more flowers in the pot than I probably should have, because I do want it to be full and very like vibrant throughout the season. At this point, I was just a complete mess. I was so like muddy and everything, and I was trying to do a good job of making my soil wet before putting my flowers in. My mom taught me that trick last year, but yeah. Overall, this was a successful planting session. Let's move on to the next one. Doing great on time, but these two cuties will go in our backyard on our deck, and then these ones will be up front. These ones with the asparagus little guys and the purple flowers are gonna go by our shed, and then these ones that are gonna be in full sun are gonna go right there where my tulips were that did not bloom. So like I said earlier when I was at Home Depot, you really need to make sure you're putting your flowers in the correct spots if they need full sun. So these little yellow guys, don't ask me their names, I'm not really sure. I can find out. If you really want to know, let me know. I'll find out for you. But they need to be in full direct sun, and so I went ahead and put them on this fancy rock here. The one behind this, isn't this such a great video? I just loved this little setup here. The hanging pot behind it was supposed to be a hanging pot. Again, not successful with those. Our French porch looks like currently. So I've never really loved my setup that I have here. So I'm still trying to find something extra, maybe something a little more colorful to put there. So I have my little welcome sign that I made. We have our Hello Sunshine, our fern that is still growing, and then I have these two hanging plants that I got at Costco. I used to have a plant that hung right here, and it was really pretty, but it just never survived. So if you have any tips on how to get hanging plants to actually survive, the one in our backyard did really well, but the one in the front, I think it just gets too much sun probably. And then we have these cute little guys right here. So here are the peony bushes that we have in our front yard. They actually did really well this year. I cut them off and bring them inside. I'll leave like a little pic here for you. But I do have a couple that have blossomed or bloomed, there we go, out there right now. I'm just going to leave them out there for the season. But if you have any tips and tricks on how to make your peony bush keep growing, let me know. Here are what these planters look like in our backyard. Again, I love adding those little extra fillers in there. Right now it doesn't look like they're extra fillers, but once these flowers really start to grow and bloom into the wonderful flowers that they are, it'll be a better filler for your plant. Now this Oh, y'all, this little area, it just drives me nuts. So last year I planted flowers over here, was not successful. So we're just going to go ahead and put some more hostas. I ended up getting 4, which was the perfect amount. But this is what like took me down in my back, because I really didn't have like a great setup to plant these. And this whole area, it is deep, but it is just muddy and it is filled with rocks because they used to have rocks here, and it is just kind of a mess. But overall, they look great now. After the first one, it wasn't too hard because I was able to find the hole that I planted our flowers in, but it still kind of was a pain because it just needed to be a lot bigger. I really should have went and got our big shovel to plant these. It would have been a lot faster, but you live and you learn. The one thing I love about hostas is they are the easiest plant ever. You just need to plant them, tend to them for a little bit so they can really get their roots into the soil, and then you don't really have to touch them ever. You might have to clean them up at the end of the year or when they're dead. I normally wait until spring to do that, but it is the easiest plant ever to take care of. And then they grow bigger and bigger every single year, and eventually they are just going to fill this entire bed, which I am very excited about. So like I mentioned before, this is yeah, it's hard work, but once it's done, it's so rewarding. And I really do love doing it. And how many times can I say that in this one video? Probably a couple more, but it is so fun to see something that you worked hard for actually growing and succeeding. And it's kind of cheesy to say, but it's like you're just growing your little planty and it's just cute as ever, and seeing it just blossom into what it becomes and how your yard looks and all of the effort that you put into it, it's really rewarding. So if you don't take care of your yard, or it's not something that you have interest in, start small. Start with a couple of planters. Set an alarm on your phone so you remember to water, because again, that's always what set me back. I always forgot to water. Put on some of your grungy clothes, get out there, get your hands dirty. You can always clean up and take a shower after. Trust me, I don't like bugs at all whatsoever, but I'm out here trying to do it, and it is worth it in the end, especially when your yard and your home looks really cute and nice. So this part definitely was the hardest for this entire planting session. this little area here, I planted tulips in a couple years ago and they blossomed last year, but we had a couple of really late freezes, and so I think that just took them down for the count. But something about this area, and I decided just to like clean it all up, it just gets so dirty from leaves and those little helicopter things. It's just not a great, like, it's a kind of like a catch-all for junk. So I just went ahead and cleared it out because it was honestly driving me nuts, and I can get more mulch in a couple of weeks. I haven't still got any. I'm just gonna wait until after our next trip because at this point they'll be fine. Anywho's, so in this, I don't even want to call it like a planting garden. I don't even know what this area technically is called, but it is filled with rock. And the previous owner had rock in all of their gardening beds and then switched over to mulch. And so it is just like a complete mess. I tried to do this one little hole and I was already annoyed because I pulled like 4 or 5 rocks and then I just went at it. I took my big shovel, chopped it all up, got rid of a lot of the rocks that were in here, tons of dirt. This was really hard to do. My camera ended up dying while doing this, so it took me a lot longer than what you're seeing here. But it was so worth it in the end now. And in the future Nikki, so next spring when I am planting more flowers in here, it's just going to be so much easier because the soil is going to be a lot more refreshed and easier to plant. So I did get all-purpose like soil for the ground. I ran out, so I ended just using potting soil for this as well. It's totally fine, but just know that they do have like those two different types of soil. Technically, I don't know if you actually need those. Let me know if you are like a big time planter and you know if like it's a cardinal rule to not use potting soil in the ground. I did, so sorry. But overall, I was very happy with how this turned out. The thing about this area too, it gets direct sunlight the entire day. So that is really nice for these flowers because they do need that full sun. Last year I just did white, but I wanted to again add a little bit more color in here. So I got a set of the pink and a set of the white. So I'm pretty sure I did a good job of mixing them up when I was planting. But some of them didn't have flowers on them, so I didn't know if it was a white one or if it was a pink one. But we'll find out in a couple of weeks when they start growing or blossoming again. This is how it turned out. It looks great. So happy with the end result. And then we got all of our furniture out, cleaned it off. Everything is ready for the season. I love having my lunch out here, working out here in the afternoon. Still have to move our grill up to the deck. Haven't done that yet, but our yard is looking perfect for the season. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video all about our little flower garden and just our outdoor spaces. I just love having every part of our home pretty and beautiful, and it is not like that all the time. Trust me, I feel like our house just needs a nice deep clean and a nice refresh because that has not happened in a while. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more home vlogs just around our home and around our city. So that's really exciting. I love sharing those little magical moments with you, even if we're not at Disney. So thank you again for watching today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you real soon. Bye.